morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rabbi.
This week's Parsha is Devarim, and Devarim starts the conversation that Moshe Rabbeinu was having with the Jewish people, telling them, based on all the stories that we had, the experiences that the Jewish people had with Moshe Rabbeinu for 40 years, from when they left Exodus, they left from Egypt, till almost going into Eretz Yisrael, and Moshe Rabbeinu reviews and gives us the messages of Hashem, that before we go into the land, this is the finale, this is what you have to remember before you go in. Now the truth of the matter is, the question that is asked is, how much time do you need to educate somebody? So it depends what education is. If education is telling somebody something, it can take 2 minutes. You tell them what you need to want them to do, and that's it. But that's not educating. That's more like threatening or telling them what you want. Education could take 40 years. Education could take 40 years, and then some. There's a value here that we have to understand, that when it comes to a person growing, every day is growth. And if you made double points today, you can make triple points tomorrow. There's always a place to grow. There's always a place to advance, and it takes time. It takes time. It's a process. Just like we saw, it's a process. You don't lose hope. Understand that it's a process. You have to have the patience, you have to have the insight, and you have to have the investment. When a person is able to do that, then they're able to have a road of success. Otherwise, you give up right away. But we see this from Moshe Rabbeinu. It took 40 years and only then did he start to tell the Jewish people the life messages and what they need to know to be able to go into the Eretz Yisrael. So this is one point. Another point is that it says, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, if a person sins and he says, I'm going to do tshuva, ein maspikim biyadi lasis tshuva. It's very hard to do tshuva after that. Because if you sinned intentionally knowing, no, I'm going to do what I want now, and later I'll do tshuva. So, you think it's not so bad, I go do tshuva, what's the difference? But the person has to be very careful about that. Why? Because it says, ein maspikim biyadi lasis tshuva. They don't let you do tshuva. So Alter Rebbe says you should know, the truth of the matter is it's not the end of the game. It says dachav, a person pushes himself, he can really do tshuva also. But what's the problem? There's a problem here with this. The problem is like this. That the person, imagine, this is a friend of mine, we were talking about this yesterday, a third friend had an idea. He said, imagine someone says, I want to do an avera, I want to go do something. And then I'm going to do tshuva. So they tell the person, you know what, you could do the avera on condition that you should know about an hour after you do the Avera, we're erasing it from your memory. Would you want to do the Avera? No. Because you want to have the experience. So, meaning to say, the person never ever wants to do tshuva, really. He wants to do tshuva not to get punished, but he doesn't want to do. So what's the problem here? The problem is here that we have to educate ourselves. The person has to, if we really know what's good for us, we would never want to do it. We would never have. The battle is because you think this is good for me and I want to do it. But if a person realizes that they're on a different page, and there's a whole different life, and there's a whole different place that we want to get to, and the value system is totally different, and what life is all about, so then we all have to talk to ourselves. It's an education process. It doesn't happen. It takes years, but there's a process here that we get to. So then you're on a different page. Your challenges are total different types of challenges. There's always challenges, but it's on a different level. Anyway, Hashem should be inspired. We should see and learn and educate and reach a level that we're on a total different playing field. Mashiach now.